Hey guys, what's up? There's something I want to show you, and I believe in it so much, so I'm going to take this permanent marker and draw on this board that you can see my daughter. She comes into my shop here, and she colors all over the place, okay? But this is really important for relationships, okay? I'm talking about this thing called the fighting language, okay? And I got to do this real quick under a minute, so it's the fighting language. Probably not going to make it in a minute. So the fighting language. This is a boxing ring. You got the person who is upset. So we'll say the victim. Let's say I do something. I'm obviously not going to get this done in a minute, so I'm just going to slow down. The victim here is the person who's upset, the person who has been offended for some reason. So let's say I am an idiot and I get mad at my wife for not doing something that we had already changed the plans on. It wasn't supposed to happen anyways. I got upset. Okay, so I am the upset one. So I go to her. All of a sudden, I am in this boxing ring right here. Okay, now you would think typically that she would be over here on the other side, right? Fighting each other. That's not right. That's backwards. Okay, here is how you get to your fighting language. I know that's real sloppy, whatever. I'm not an artist either. Look at my boxing ring. All right, so instead of this person being here, if this person knows this person's fighting language, they're going to be back here and they're going to be their coach during the fight or during this victim's whatever he is upset about. Okay, she or he doesn't need to be over here battling him. Okay, this over here is that thing that caused the fight. This is what caused the fight. Okay, so this is what he or she is battling against. He's not really battling against her. He's battling against this situation that made him upset. Okay, so now on the other hand, this person right here is also on the other side of the boxing ring, the fighting ring, on the shoulders of the issue. Okay, so in boxing, this person is probably the most important person, not the boxer. The boxer can be as tough as he wants to be, but if he doesn't have this trainer on his side and understand how he fights his fights and can tell him how to do better, that's what this trainer does in boxing. If you look at a relationship the same way, if you know your person's fight, it's just like the love languages, but it's a little bit opposite. Okay, the love languages teaches you how to find your person's love language and show them your love language. First, you have to identify your love language. Then you have to share it with them. They have to identify their love language, or you can identify, if you've been with them for a while, you can identify it, and then they, and then you learn their love language, and they learn your love language, and then they can give you what you need. You can give them what you need. My wife and I have amazing love language. We know our love language so well. Okay, and I'm sorry to throw my wife out here in the middle of all this, but I want to help people with this fighting language thing. If you don't know how your partner fights or what hurts them, you're going to end up on the shoulders of the problem. You're going to be rubbing the shoulders, giving the problem encouragement to attack that person. So even if he was wrong, he's the one that screwed it all up. Okay, if he comes to her in a loving manner and says, and he's vulnerable, this is part of a fighting language, you have to be vulnerable. If he goes to her and says, I asked you to bring my hat and I don't have it, and then she says, whatever, you should be more vulnerable. Say, listen, I'm self-conscious without my hat. It's nothing to do with you and what you not bringing me my hat. I'm self-conscious without it. Okay, so you make yourself vulnerable and you try to fix the situation. If this person doesn't have your back in that, it's up to this person here to use the love language to express his issue to this person. It's this person's obligation to know his partner's fighting language at that time. He or she doesn't need to know that person's love language at the time. They need to know the fighting language. Okay, so for example, if this person here, wife, anytime she ever gets mad, she just wants to be left alone. Like, just leave me alone for 45 minutes. I'm going to come back and I'm going to love you just like I did this morning and just like I did yesterday. Okay? If that's her love language, most likely when you're mad at her, she's going to assume that your love language is the same as hers. If she doesn't understand your fighting language, she's going to assume that your fighting language is the same as hers, and she's going to blow you off and say, don't call me, don't text me, you guys aren't going to talk for a day, because she thinks that's what you need, when you could be the complete opposite in a fighting language, and maybe your fighting language is to come here, baby, hold me, love me, let's fix this issue right now, so in 5 minutes we can be kissing and moving on with life and not shutting this person down. Okay, so if this person wants to be left alone during a fight, and the husband wants the wife close to fix the problem, she just wants time to cool off to fix the problem. No one's wrong or no one's right in that situation. But if he is the one that's upset, and she pushes this person away for that time period and cool off period, but he doesn't need the cooling off period, next thing you know, he is sending a bunch of shitty text messages that have nothing to do with the hat. Now he's just being an asshole to her. So she says, don't text me again, don't call me. You call me tonight or tomorrow or whatever your relational situation is. And that does nothing but make this person explode and say things that they don't need to say, when really, if this person knew this person's fighting language, she just would have came to him and said, I'm sorry, baby, I love you. It's not a big deal. I understand you're upset. And then he's happy. So the shitty text messages don't come because he's happy. Okay, this will go either way, wife or husband, either way. This is just one of the fighting languages that I've had a lot of experience with fighting relationships. I know that's a mess, but that's a permanent marker, and that's going to stay there. Okay, because I want to help people, because at the end of the day, the people who get hurt are kids and grandparents. Those are the people who get hurt in relational breakups and split ups. And if you don't know your person's fighting language, how they handle fights, you have to know, most importantly, you have to know how they want to resolve fights. How do you want to resolve fights? Do you want to fucking scream at me for an hour? Will that make you feel better? Is that how you resolve every one of your fights? Do you want to hug me and kiss me and just get your face an inch from mine and tell me you love me and look me in my eye and say I understand, you know, and this and that? Like how does this person resolve issues? And then you have to step into that person during fights if they're the one that's upset. If they're the one that's upset, you're all of a sudden the coach to this person who is upset. As being their spouse, you are their coach to get them through that. You're not supposed to fucking be over here encouraging the fight. We have to learn to love each other the right way. This will destroy a marriage. My wife says that infidelity is the only reason she will ever get divorced. It's been 3 fucking years, and she won't try to understand my fighting language. And it is destroying our marriage. I know her fighting language. She wants to be left alone. So I do it. 10 years ago, she goes in the bathroom crying. I'd be pounding on the door. Bro, you don't love me. Come out of here. Blood, you don't love me. You don't want to be with me. Blah, 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 blah. Now, she goes to the bathroom, cries for 45 minutes. I'm going to wait for her to come out and she's going to love me because I know her fighting language and I know what she needs. So then when she ends up over here, right? She ends up over here. Then what happens? He blows up and sends shitty text messages to her. What happens? There's a whole new fucking boxing ring. So you know how you got wife. The husband's supposed to be here on her shoulders. You got another fucking argument right down here. And then you got what's supposed to be the husband. Now he has to choose to let his hurt go away that wasn't resolved up here. It wasn't resolved up here. He has to give that hurt away, or he let that go away, to try to be on her shoulders and carry her, or he's going to end up fucking back over here. What happens if he ends up back over here? If he ends up back over here and he's putting weight and stuff to this person, and then boom, this explodes. Now she's pissed off. What's wrong now? There's another fucking boxing ring. And before you know it, you're both fucking in there. No coaches on the side. Nobody helping you. You have nothing. You're in there fucking alone. You probably left God out of it. You left your kids out of it. You left your daughter out of it. 3 boxing rings. 3 boxing rings over a forgotten hat. I'm not saying anybody was right or wrong in that particular situation, but this destroys marriages. I wanted to share that with everybody, and I'm going to dig deep into my brain, and I'm going to figure out when it comes to 5 fighting languages, just like the 5 love languages. I'm going to figure this shit out. All right, because this is the truth. If you don't know how your partner fights, the love languages aren't going to do anything for you. You can know your partner's love language all day long, but when you get in a fight, you're going to destroy your marriage. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there how it is, because I see my daughter's handwriting right here, and my daughter's paint all over this stuff. And now my wife and I are separated, and I'm tired of losing my daughters, and I'm tired of losing my wife. I've been married fucking 3 times. I'm tired of it. Next chick I meet is going to know this fighting language thing. And she doesn't want to learn it, she doesn't want to learn how I fight, how I argue, then kick rocks, man. You know, I need things, you need things. I'm going to find out what you need, because I'm more intelligent now. I don't know if there's any saving me and my wife. You know, I love her to death, but I don't know if there's any saving us. Because we got fucking boxing rings all over our life. We got fucking boxing rings everywhere. We're fighting all the time. Because of this one time that this person couldn't have this person's back. Instead, they come over here on the problem side and they push it in the middle and they're in the boxing ring. And once they're in the boxing ring, you got the second boxing ring with the other person in it. I love families, and I love seeing families together. I see them every day in my business. I see mothers and dads, and I'm so sick and tired of seeing people in their families and mine falling apart for some reason. So when it comes to relationships, you got the 5 love languages, you got the fighting language, and you have expectations. If your expectation is a guy to get off work and go to a bar every night before you go home with your wife, you better let her know that in the date. And she better ask you in the date, hey, when you get married and you're a husband and you get off work, are you going to be stopping at bars and meeting your buddies? You're going to be going to Super Bowl parties without me not inviting me? Are you going to be bringing me? These are questions you ladies need to ask, and you guys. Are there going to be girls' nights out? You know, are you going to be able to get together with your girlfriends and fly to Vegas for a weekend? Am I going to get to fly to Montreal with my friends for the weekend? Or are we just going to be a family and be together? Expectations in the beginning of a relationship are so important. And if you don't have the expectations, you can't 7 months later, 8 months later after you get married, so why are you not coming home and going to the bar every night? I've been going to the bar every night since we met. I didn't know that. Well, you never asked. Or whatever, you know, because maybe they wasn't living together or something. I'm just saying, like, expectations, the love language, and the fighting language are what's going to make a successful relationship. And I'm going to work more on this fighting language thing. You guys let me know what you think, because I think it's point on, and that's why I drew it in permanent marker. It's here for me to see. It's going to be here for my wife to see. It's going to be here for my employees to see, and I will explain it to everybody. You know. Have a great night, guys.